Alright, welcome guys and gals to Frickin' Laser Designs and Tutorials. I'm Jonathan Benson, and today we're going to look at how to take a photograph and etch it using your Glowforge. However, this is not standard fare. We're going to be prepping both the file and the wood in a unique way that gives a slightly different finished look to the end product. We'll start in Photoshop and we'll end up in the Glowforge. Let's do it. The first thing we need to do is locate a photograph. So in this case, we'll start with a photograph of my son, and we'll crop it as a 4x6. We'll then go to the Layers palette, duplicate the layer, hide the bottom layer, highlight the top layer, hit Ctrl, Shift, U to desaturate it, duplicate the desaturated layer, click Ctrl I to invert it. Then we want to go to the blending mode and change it to color dodge. Then go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. And then you'll want to fool around with the slider here, bringing it to the left or to the right, and find a good happy medium. If you bring it too far to the left, you'll lose all detail. If you go too far to the right, again, you'll lose detail. So in this case, about 185 works. Then go to the adjustment layer, levels, bring the left slider over, so we're increasing the number here for black, bring it up to about 100, and then we'll create another adjustment layer for curves, crush the blacks just a little more, and it looks pretty good. At this point, we'll go to File, Export, As, save it as a JPEG, and we'll see that it's 3.6 megabytes. Generally, when etching in the Glowforge, I want to have the file less than 1 megabyte. So I'm going to change the width here to 1500 and the quality to 85, and hopefully that'll get us below the 1 megabyte mark, and it did. I'll click Export All. I'll overwrite my wood etch. And we're done. We're finished in Photoshop. The next step is to prep the wood and then bring this digital image into the Glowforge. I'll see you there.
Okay, so the first thing we want to do is prep our wood. I'm going to use Zinsser wood bleach parts A and part B. I'll start with part A and pour a little bit into this dish. Then I'll use a foam brush to saturate the wood with the solution. As a side note, I should be using protective gloves, but I'm not. I forgot about that, and I was a little lazy. So, don't be like me. Okay, let's speed this up a bit. Once the wood's saturated, you'll want to let it sit for about 5 minutes before applying solution B. After about 5 minutes, it'll then be time for part B. Pour it in a separate container and use a separate brush to apply. Again, we'll speed up the process. Once dried, repeat the 2 steps an additional 3 or 4 times or until the wood has achieved the look you want. When you've completed the bleaching steps and allowed the wood to dry for about 24 hours, you'll need to neutralize the residue with a solution of 1 part vinegar to 2 parts water, as seen in this step. After this step's complete and the wood's dry, we can move over to the Glowforge. Okay, so once we're in the Glowforge, we're going to want to locate and upload our artwork. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, once the artwork's in here, we're going to need to tell the Glowforge what exactly we're using. In this case, I'm using proof grade walnut, and I'm going to use the HD graphic preset. One could use the HD photo preset and be just as good, I would imagine. In any case, I'm going to go ahead and scale it down and place it over top of the now bleached walnut, and we'll go ahead and print it out. We'll let the Glowforge do its thing. This can take a while. We'll speed it up. And we'll press the Glowforge button. In this case, the etch will last around 3 hours. Obviously, we're not going to sit around here for 3 hours and watch it go, so we'll end it here and pick it up on the other side for cleanup. When it comes to cleaning unmasked wood, I usually use acetone. I'll go ahead right now and open it up and pour it into this glass, and then I'll use foam brushes and a toothbrush and just keep going over it and over it and over it until it's where I want it, until I think it's clean enough. So we'll go ahead and speed it up. Okay, we're done. Here are the two pieces. Our etch is on the right and standard proof grade walnut is on the left. Hopefully you can see the difference. If you found this video interesting, if you found this technique useful, please consider liking and subscribing. Thanks and take care. Are you a parent or a grandparent with school-age kids? If so, take a look at another channel I operate for my son and daughter called Gen Z Are We. If your kids like channels like Dude Perfect, Marquise Brownlee, 5 Minute Crafts, and others, they'll love Gen Z Are We. Gen Z Are We videos are made by Gen Zers for Gen Zers. Take a look and subscribe.